10 years of the football blacklist. Mate, that's got to bring a smile to your face, because I know it hasn't been an easy road for either of you. But the satisfaction must be great to, as you approach this landmark. Talk to me about what it means, Leon.
It means a lot, and it's strange to think of the football blacklist as being 10 years, because time has really flown. There have been lots of ups and downs, lots of discussions around the football blacklist. I feel like I've spent my life on Twitter telling people there's no need for a football whitelist. But the things that the football blacklist has done, and given it started with a very simple conversation between myself and Rodney, 10 years ago, about celebrating some people we'd seen in meetings and people didn't know about, to think of what it's become now, to think that we're going to have 400 odd people coming together at the celebration, to think of the people we've celebrated, to think of the people we haven't celebrated, and what we can do around them is massively exciting. I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of what we've done.
Yeah, I've got to ditto that. It was a very simple conversation. It doesn't seem like 10 years, but I want to look at the next 10. We've got an awful lot of work to do still. We've got to keep things on the agenda. And one of the favourite things for me about the awards night, or the celebration night, is that we all come together. I mean, we see each other at different events throughout the year, and it's a hi, I'll give you a shout, business card type thing, but we actually come together. And I think the networking is important, because that makes us stronger as a community. People can go away having connected with people that they'd only heard about or not heard about. I've seen it happen. And it's only the blacklist that brings all of those people together. And obviously the exposure to the people that win awards is fantastic as well. They are obviously deserving. And as I've always said, it's amazing how competitive now it's getting for people wanting to be on the list. Why am I not on the list? Am I not worthy? And all you can say to people is that keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully, because there are so many deserving cases within our community, that's the thing as well, and that's a testament to us all that maybe 20, 30 years ago, if not less, we wouldn't have been able to maybe flag the things up. But the networking, the 10 years has flown by. I remember the very first one, I showed Leon something that I found recently, which had a list of speakers. It had half a dozen people. I think Lord Treesman was on there, so Lord Dewsday was on there, even I was on there. And I remember that one, and now I take it to 10 years later, special. And I've got to pay homage to what Leon does in terms of pulling the event all together, him and his team. It's a slick operation, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You get people saying that was a special night. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind 10 years, but here's to the next 10.
Just before we move forward and look at this year's event, I want to talk about some of the highlights from last year. What were your personal highlights?
Well, I mean, for me, there were two standout moments for myself. I mean, obviously, Cyril Regis receiving his award, being on stage with a young player like Yannick Bolasie and seeing the different generations. The fact that Yannick knows that the door's open for him by a Cyril Regis, and also, of course, remembering Ugo Ekiog. Through his ones to watch, having his family on the stage at the end was a very emotional moment, I think, for everybody in the room. And it's great to see the next ones to watch this year. That will be exciting to have the family again on the stage. They've been involved in selecting the ones to watch. They've been directly involved in that. So just fond memories of last year. But I mean, at the moment, the feeling is excitement about what's coming up next.
No doubt, we'll get into that in a second. Rodney, your own special moments from last year?
I think you have to, without doubt, Ugo Ekiog's scenario, Gareth Southgate's message as well, the England manager, was poignant and touching. And the other one for me was Les Ferdinand. I mean, the nature of these things means that people say they're coming and you don't know if they're actually going to turn up there. And I think I was moving around somewhere and then I saw Les Ferdinand on stage. And another man that's revered.
Loved.
Do you know what I mean? And to see him on stage, saying what he was saying about the event and the occasion, special. Those, I mean, it's there for everybody, but when you get those sort of iconic names supporting what we're about, that was a highlight for me.
I can imagine there were so many difficulties in bringing an event like this to life. I note that the Premier League's involvement, I know there was huge, ongoing discussions with Mann like Mr. Scudamore. He's stepping down. How integral to the success of the event was his involvement and just bringing on board the Premier League?
Having the Premier League's involvement has been, sensational, because, when you think about the iconic brands, forget sports brands, just iconic brands around the world, the Premier League has to be one of them. So to see the football blacklist logo next to the Premier League logo, is just massive. And given, that logo was kind of like knocked back and forth by me and Rodney and the designer, it was done on a shall we just say a low scale budget, and to see it sat there proudly, and there's some strength behind that logo because it's very simple, football blacklist. Next to that lion of the Premier League actually is hugely symbolic of what the blacklist means to football. It means to our community, because if this was a list that was just relevant just to the football industry and not to the black community, I'm not sure what it would actually mean. This is a list that is as much or more about our community as it is about the football industry, because we're trying to ensure that our people have their rightful place in the game across all positions. So to have the Premier League support has been huge. To have the Premier League are the main supporters of the Football Blacklist celebration, but we've also got the FA, the EFL, the LMA, Football Games, the Fair Network, Kick It Out, BComs. We've got so many credible groups, behind this movement that we're in a real powerful position to not just come together and celebrate people, but to have ongoing activities that actually have a real practical impact on people on the ground.
Would it be the same about the Premier League, Rodney?
It's a good question, and you're full of those, aren't you? Possibly not. At this stage. Leon talked about the brand, the Premier League brand. Doesn't matter where you go in the world, people talk about the Premier League. So for them and us to have an association is fantastic, and I think their involvement has taken the event to another level very, very quickly. To Richard Scudamore and the rest of the team there, we say big respect and thank you. But as I said, we've got an awful lot of work to do still. So hopefully they join us on that journey with ongoing discussions. But there's quite a few supporters, as Leon has named, and without them, it wouldn't quite be the same either to some degree. You know what I mean? Because everyone does their little bit. No, the Premier League have been integral to what's happened over the last few years.
This year, what are we looking forward to? Come on, someone give me a gem. Spill some beans.
Do you know what?
Rodney's been tightly.
I've told them nothing. I've not told them.
I'm a political guy, so I'm going to do the politics first, then I'm going to do the entertainment.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just going to have one thing on each side. The politics, for the very first time, we will have a black owner of a professional football club at the awards. The first and only black British owner of a football club. Ben Robinson will be with us. He owns Burton Albion. He's taken them up through the conference, up right to the Championship. They're in League One at the moment. We've discovered him through the football blacklist. I was in a meeting with the EFL, having a moan about the lack of, or the non-existence of black owners or chairmen or CEOs, and they said, "What about Ben?" I said, "Ben who?" Ben who? And then we kind of got to passing a phone round, saying, "Is he black? Is he not black?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, look, he kind of looks like he's part of the community to me." I've been up to see him. Lovely man, lovely man. Done great things with Burton Albion Football Club. So to see a black owner and chairman, and he was chairman of that club since 1976.
Wow. So he genuinely loves what he's doing.
He loves what he's doing. He owns that club. He's got a wonderful family. His daughter is Fleur Robinson. She's also on the football blacklist. She's commercial director of the club. She sits on the FA Council.
Fantastic story.
He's got
that's an anomaly.
Absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to everyone in the room learning about this man, and just saying, look, This is your community.
Good luck.
You know, we're behind you. You just let us know when you need us.
It's going to be inundated with scouts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, that was a politics.
That was a politics.
Well, I was talking for a while, so
I mean, what I would say about the football blacklist, I mean, we have all been around a little while now, in and around the game. When that blacklist is revealed each year, it's like a learning curve for me, because the Ben Robertson type story, who would have known? You know, who would have known? And that list of names isn't just a list of names, it's about people doing things. That's why our conversation a decade or so ago was so important, because it was, let's promote, reveal, inspire, encourage the people that are doing so much good work. Owner of a football club, fantastic. And I'm sure there's other little stories like that as well that haven't been revealed to us as yet. And that's why the blacklist belongs to the community, and that's why the call to action is important. And I think sometimes our people don't always get involved the way they should do.
Right.
We want to find out about the people doing good work.
Absolutely.
Myself and Leon are open to anybody sharing those sort of stories with us. So all I would say is that the blacklist itself it's a list of names, but the stories behind them are absolutely fantastic.
How Ben found out he was on the blacklist.
Yes.
He got a text from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
He was former manager, right? Or
Yes,
that's
was
right.
one of his managers
At the time.
before Jimmy got the job at QPR.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, I remember he was at
Yeah, it was at Burn.
Yeah.
So-
I wondered why that connection came about.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Points to everything that we're talking about. doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So Ben got the text from Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, comes up, I see you made the football blacklist. Now,
Ben is saying,
I don't
what?
know Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but he's aware of this football blacklist,
Yeah.
looking out for it,
Yeah.
and is pinging a message to his mate to say you're on it. Now that's exactly what we
That's
want.
what we want. Everyone's a disciple
You know?
for the blacklist, whether you're on it or you think someone should be on it, etc., etc. Everybody's involved. It's obviously then limited to a certain amount of names, but why not next year? Keep doing what you're doing, and it's that exposure that's important as well.
No, that's great. That's great that so many people are respecting it for what it is. I guess that's what happens when your last 10 years, longevity is everything.
Yeah, but I
Consistency
mean, I
is
just want to add the fact that if there's a young man or woman that says, you know what, I want to own a football club, why not? There is now a role model.
Absolutely.
You know, and those that attend on Thursday night can actually mix and mingle with Ben Robinson, ask him a question. I've never met him myself, but he sounds like the sort of guy in that sort of environment that will share information as to how you go about it. So, as I said, it's a list of names, essentially, the blacklist, but then the celebration and what goes on thereafter is the most important thing.
Lee, you were going to touch on the entertainment. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's 10 years, my brother. What you got in store?
No, it's 10 years, and for the first time at the football blacklist, we will have a music act performing. Given the audience, a range of age groups, etc., we had to kind of think who would be the right act. And I'm delighted to say that we've got Shola Amma.
Okay.
So Shola Amma will be performing on the night. Big favourite of mine.
Yes.
Yes,
all of us
I mean,
really.
I think I can't wait to see her singing "Need Somebody" in that venue. It's going to be amazing. Imagine, you know, it's just going to create that celebratory atmosphere that's already there.
Yeah.
But just
Take
add
it to another
something
level,
to it.
yeah.
I think in years to come, you know, and I know that we're going to talk about where the football blacklist might go. It'd be interesting to see, a suitable comedian, create that vibe, because I think because of the challenges we face as a community in football, in life, in this country, we can be talking about what we need to change, the difficulties, the struggle, and sometimes don't allow ourselves enough space to have a celebration. And someone rightly put it to me one time, what are you celebrating?
You can say who it was, Lee, we know that.
But I'm not going to say who it was.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's one of those things where I think there are things to celebrate. Obviously, we've got battles to take on, and the football blacklist is doing that in some way in terms of inspiring the next generation. That's not the answer, but that's part of the answer.
Well, you've already started to address the next question, which is where does the football blacklist go? Rod, so I know you've got your own ideas on this, but as succinctly as you can, because I can imagine the remit's so wide. But
it is very, very
where
wide.
would you like to see it going?
I think Leon and I have discussed things in between the celebrations that we can be doing maybe in the future, like workshops and stuff like that, with the Football Blacklist name being used on there. But where can I see it going? I'll tell you where I can see it going. A very powerful man in football who has attended the Football Blacklist once said to me, "This is destined for the Albert Hall."
Okay.
And for him to say that, and with the kudos that he has, he's just come and had a look and said, "This is destined for the Albert Hall." And why not? The list will always be the list, but the celebration is mightily important, because that's when the people come together. So that's what I said earlier on. We've got so much more work to do. I would imagine that if the Blacklist is going in 20, 30 years' time, we may not be as heavily involved, but it should still be going though, shouldn't it?
Absolutely.
It should, it's about passing that baton on, So for me, there won't be any stopping the Football Blacklist. I have been so pleasantly surprised by the reaction to it. The list, the celebration and everything that goes with it. I think I've said it before that I've been involved in this trade for a little while now. Don't think I've seen anything like this before in terms of how it's treated, respected, and people want to be part of it. So if we're doing what we're doing now, after 10 years, I can only imagine what it's going to be like after 15, after 20, 25, etc.
Leon, you touched on some of the outreach projects that could be developed in the name of the Football Blacklist. Talk about how you'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you look at the people on the Football Blacklist, when you look at the range of people, from physios to owners to chairmen to coaches, you have a pool of people who can go all around the country inspiring the next generations. Now, that shouldn't be just for one celebration when we come together once a year. This should be something that's ongoing, week to week, day to day, getting these people who are not just on the list this year but previous lists in and around our communities, helping to inspire the next generation, giving that kind of contact that's needed to help inspire and pass on practical knowledge of how someone can go on to do those jobs. We should and will go on to facilitate that. What we're looking for is the right partners to do that with. So we'll continue to explore that, but I see that as a vital component of this blacklist not being a one-off celebration or a one-off list in a newspaper. It's got to be something that fills every single day of the week and really makes a greater impact to as many people as possible.
Can I be selfish?
Absolutely.
Because no one ain't mentioned it yet. Like, in all the time I've been interviewing you guys, where's the Football Blacklist charity football match? No, I'm not even joking. Because we know that I'm not going to call out other brands that we've worked with, or for various reasons, but we know that they're a success and that they work pretty well. I mean, apart from Spoonie breaking his ankle in the prostate game earlier this year, to get yourself some good insurance. But I think that's maybe something that could be added to the agenda. So think about that moving forward. I'm happy to referee it.
Thought you were going to play.
I won't be playing.
Or coaching.
I'm happy to. I'll be a manager actually. Yeah, I wouldn't mind sharing the role of a manager. Listen, is there anything else you want to add? Because I know that there's so much to cover.
All I'd add is to say, the secret to the success of the Football Blacklist is support. Support from the community. Support from the football industry. Without those two things, me and Rodney could be stood in an empty room, with a newspaper in our hands. And we'd be very proud of it. Yes, that's right, of course we are. But without people getting behind, this thing that we've started, and this isn't about us, it's about we, as in everybody. Then we're grateful to everyone, absolutely everyone on this journey.
Just going to say likewise to that. I mean, as I said, it's taken me pleasantly by surprise what's happened over the last 10 years. It is a journey, but it is about the people, the emails, the phone calls to try to attend or be on the list has been phenomenal. And you end up saying to people, listen, maybe we can't accommodate you this year, whether that be for the list or the celebration. We'll try and sort you out next year. We try not to reject anybody in the truest sense, But that's why I think Albert Hall or another prestigious venue, that's why we have to go there in the end. Because I think we're only just getting started, really.
And it all started with The Voice newspaper. With The Voice newspaper and with Rodney Hinds saying, yeah, let's give this a go.
Let's run with the ball.
Yeah, I just think that when we did speak, I was inspired. I think I remember saying something like, everybody loves a list or something of that nature. They do, don't they? The Times do their rich list, etc. Because people want to be on it or see who was on it. And we'd never done it in terms of football and sport in particular. So, as I said, and I think I've said it in an interview that we did recently, it does also show that we've got to collaborate more with each other as a community. Do you know what I mean? And that's why the networking at the event itself is so special. Who knows what's going to come out of a phone call or an email or conversation with the people that attend.
Absolutely.
Good luck, guys. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.